Parents could soon be forced to shoulder more education costs following a warning by Treasury CS John Mbadi that the government can no longer fully sustain the free education program. Speaking before the National Assembly Education Committee, Mbadi says that the government is overwhelmed by debt and other financial burdens and may soon be unable to even pay for examination fees. Lawmakers also raised concern about the alleged ghost schools that may be draining the country's education budget. Elizabeth Mutuku was in Parliament and brings us this report.
The country's education sector may be headed for yet another turbulent period after National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi made a startling revelation. The government may not be able to fully fund free primary and secondary education capitation. Appearing before MPs, Mbadi disclosed that the government has only managed to allocate 16,900 shillings per student in secondary schools, falling short of 22,000 shillings required. This shortfall has prompted lawmakers to call for an urgent review of the education funding policy.
Our business again, Madam Chair, that this is the dawning reality, that we now go back as members of Parliament and in the next supplementary budget bridge the gap between 16,900 to 22,000 shillings so that you issue a circular that is proper rather than issuing a circular of 22 and it is less.
Chair. My brother takes to schools 10,000. Already it's small. Why are you deducting money for infrastructure 5,000? You know, I have all the notes here. Why are you deducting another 1,750? So that even from the 16,
why did you not acknowledge that you are aware? Put a rider. Both of you did not do that. You should have been honest with us and tell us, yes, it is 22, but then we'd know that you're also aware that there is a challenge. But when you...
As to whether it is enough for all the children in this country, it is not. If we work with 22,000 per child for senior secondary school and the 15,000 per child for the junior secondary school, and we work with 1,400 plus per child for free primary education, you will get higher figures than what is in the budget. That is what I'm trying to say. And
However, MPs pressed the CS to clarify the education funding gaps, especially in light of recent findings by the Auditor General Nancy Gathungu, who revealed that some non-existent or ghost schools have been receiving capitation funds. Legislators fear this could be a major loophole contributing to the persistent underfunding crisis.
How much is tenable? How much can we afford so that for purposes of planning, for purposes of predictability, so that parents are advised accordingly, we know that what government can afford is 16,000 or 17,000.
So serious anomalies in the lot of changes that took place because the certificate that came from Bunge was very clear. But your office superimposed some other schools, some other beneficiaries who are not in the certificate that came from Bunge. And this I'll be able to prove in a short while, Bwana Chair.
To 16,000. Unless we ring-fence that position, this problem will continue recurring. So we actually need to start with you so that when it is done in Parliament, then we follow through. On our end, we will make sure that what is supposed to reach the schools reaches the schools. And if there are any amounts or resources that are deducted that should not be, that is not going to be during our term.
Further, Mbadi insisted on the need to rethink the education funding and examination fees, which has raised debate in the recent past. The CS insisting that it is not tenable and that stakeholders should find a realistic way forward.
That we have a strong feeling, especially from the National Treasury, that it was not right to pay school examination for all the children of Kenya. It is not right. You subsidize people who cannot.
MPs raised concerns over the new funding model for the technical and vocational education and training TVETs. They claim it fails to meet actual needs of the students, particularly those placed into various funding categories based on economic backgrounds. It also emerged that significant number of students remain unregistered, complicating access to education and support. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47.